I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion is approved. We have no public hearing tonight, but we do have oath of office.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll go through the oath of office here for our commissioners, Alpaugh, Siebenthaler, and Martin. They were both unanimously appointed by our city council in December for another term on the planning commission. So if Alpaugh and Siebenthaler and Martin can please stand and raise their right hand, I'll come over here. And please repeat after me. State your name. Thank you. Do affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Hastings, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Planning Commissioner for the City of Hastings, Counties of Dakota and Washington, and State of Minnesota, according to the best of my ability and understanding. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations, and thank you again for your continued service.
Next thing on the agenda is the election of the commissioner chair and vice chair. Do we have any nominations for chair?
Who qualifies? Is there three people that qualify?
Sure, I can clarify that. Anyone who has served on the commission for 1 year or longer can qualify. So the Commissioner Martin and Commissioner Best would not be able to serve, but every other commissioner could. And so with this, we can take nominations separately for each position, or if you wish, you can make a nomination for both positions at the same time. Thank you.
I nominate Jeff Deegan for chair. We have a motion for Jeff Deegan for commission chair.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Jeff Deegan is appointed. The election of vice chair in the nominations. Any nominations? So I nominate Paul Palmer. We have a nomination on the floor. Any second?
I'll second.
And a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries as well. That election completed. Next on the agenda is the, well, I guess it'll be a little bit out of order there. We have no public hearings, other actions.
Okay. Planning Commissioners, what I have before you tonight is a copy of our 2018 Annual Report for Community Development, highlighting some of the activities from planning, HEDRA, historic preservation, and other activities within our department. So tonight what I'd like to do is highlight some of the activities related to Planning Commission, showing a little bit of where we've been, what we've accomplished in 2018, to give us some guidance for 2019 as we move forward here. So looking at some of the projects that we were involved in 2018, some of the more significant items. I put in here in your packet some pictures of some different developments, including Aspen Dental, the new clinic at 1465 North Frontage Road. Planning Commission was involved in the land use approvals to construct the clinic. Interesting site that we did not think was really developable, had not marketed for development in the past, was approached, found a site that would work, and moved forward with the sale and development. We worked on the Pleasant Hill Library addition at 1490 South Frontage Road, under construction as we speak, complete renovation of the building itself and a small addition to the building. So we're looking forward to that opening back up later on this year. From a plating standpoint, we approved South Pines 9, which was a 25-lot, single-family development, finishing up Sandpiper Circle west of Red Wing Boulevard and Tuttle Drive. Looking at that project, some of the work did incur in 2018. We expect the remainder of the work and the infrastructure to be completed in 2019. So we'll have finally Sandpiper Circle continuing all around and not have the dead end anymore. Other things we worked on, Vermilion Shores apartment at 950 31st Street West. This was a 3-story, 60-unit apartment by 31st Street and County Road 47. We expect that plans for this development will come in the spring, adding to the apartment inventory that we've seen in the last couple of years. Great River Landing, we finished up some plans at the end of last year for landscape and photometric plan approval for this site. Again, this site is a renovation of the historic building, 100,000 square feet, and will be done into an apartment, hotel, and banquet facility. And then along with that, we've seen the approval and the construction of the parking ramp across the street, the demolition of the First National Bank site, and the construction of the 121 stall parking ramp, which we expect to be completed by summer of 2019. We worked a little bit on Resurrection United Methodist Church with the demolition of the home, expansion of the parking area. That's under construction, almost finished up here, which was good. We approved an expansion for Wise Funeral Home, parking lot expansion for Intech. Looked at the goat ordinance, so we now have an approval for keeping of goats for control of invasive species and weeds. So we hope that the individual and the company that had approached us last year about this may go forward with this in 2019. And then we worked a lot with Wallen 17th Edition, with some of the approvals for the subdivision, and then a lot of review on potential lotting of a subdivision a little bit next to it. We also looked at the 2040 Comprehensive Plan. This is something that'll have more value as we move forward this year with the Planning Commission. Again, when we look at the comprehensive plan, we are looking at a development document that charts our goals and objectives and where we want to be over the next 20 years. It's something we do every 10 years, and we did a lot of that work in 2018. And so what we show on here is our land use map, which is similar to our zoning map. This charts where we want to be with land use. The zoning map is the reality of where we are with land use. One of the things that we will be doing this year, upon approval of this plan, will be to look at our land use code, at our zoning code, maybe looking at some zoning of properties, looking at different aspects of the language within some of our code to make sure that it complies with our comprehensive plan. When we look at construction activity for 2018, we had the largest year from a unit standpoint that we had in the last 10 years. Primarily due to the construction of the Glendale Heights apartment building, an 88-unit building. So we had 109 units altogether. 88 of that was in that apartment building, 15 single-family homes. Now, when you take a look at the single-family side, that's about half of what we did last year and lower than what we've typically done the last few years for single-family development. I think what we're seeing here is the depletion of our lot supply right now. We don't have as many lots available. We haven't had as many lots added into our inventory, and so the numbers that we're getting for totals are reducing on that. When you take a look at the potential of what comes out in the future, we've had more discussions lately than we've had in 2018 with people that may be bringing new development in. I think from a market standpoint, the lot numbers we have are low, and there's desire to bring more product in. So I think we'll see more of that going into 2019. When you take a look at the commercial permit side, we had a strong year on that one with almost $15 million worth of commercial permit total, which was up from about $10 million in 2017. That included 54 commercial industrial remodels and 3 new commercial permits on that. So strong numbers, consistent with what we've seen with growth in the last 4 or 5 years. On our zoning permit side, a little bit down from what we typically have for the year with the totals there. When you look at the building permit chart that we have here, you can see that we haven't, the last 10 years since the recession have been pretty low on the overall totals. We had the spike with the apartments this year. When you take a look at what we've seen in the past through the 90s up into the early 2000s, permit totals were a lot higher. I think it's a reflection of the market right now. It's consistent with what we've been seeing in comparable sized communities with building permit totals. The one anomaly for us is that we have not been seeing the new residential subdivisions coming in. What we have been seeing essentially have been subdivisions that we've had over the last 10 years that have been in place and different phases have gone on. We haven't seen much as far as new subdivisions from scratch or annexation requests for new construction. When you take a look at our population total, we're at about just under 23,000, which is consistent with our projected population growth looking out to 2020 and 2030. And looking at potential development here, this goes through some of the land adjacent to the city and areas that we anticipate for new growth and new development. You can see the different shades of colors for different types of development, for single-family yellow, townhome in orange, and apartment condominium in red, and then these dashed line areas which are developments which may come in. These are not necessarily things that have been committed to by the property owners, but these are consistent with their land use plan. So when someone is looking at the potential of sale, they can look at our land use plan, make a determination of what the proposed use would be for the property, and then make some determinations on what they might do in the future with it. This does not mean that someone is willing to sell or that it's on the market to sell. I've included in there some of our existing lot inventory that we have right now. Currently, we've got about 78 single-family lots that are available today for construction. Of those 78, about 38 of those, or half, are over in the Wallen subdivision. The remaining half are scattered throughout other subdivisions within town. The difficulty there is right now is some of those subdivisions have been around for a long time. Some of the lots that are left over may not be as desirable as others, so they move at a much more slower rate. So we are primed, I believe, for new subdivisions and new development to come in. From a townhome standpoint, other markets have seen a reemergence of townhomes. We haven't here. We don't have much of an inventory right now. What we have seen from a desire from land developers is the detached single-family home product. That would be what's termed a villa home, where you may have a single-family detached home on maybe a 50 to 60-foot wide lot with an association maintained. There seems to be a market for that. There's been some discussions in areas of town where that might be placed, and so we may be seeing that type of development in the future. One of the other things that's interesting about the single-family market is when you take a look at the lot sizes that were created over the last 10 to 20 years of larger single-family lots that would be 10, 15,000 square feet and up. The market right now in other areas is for lots that are smaller than that. I think it comes down to the cost of construction has gone up substantially, and in making decisions as to build, people are choosing to put more amenities into a home itself and less into the amount of property that a home would be on. So homes that are on larger lots have been seen as being potentially less competitive as those that would be on smaller lot where you could build more of a house at that point. Looked in here, some of the future development that we have. This is more looking into areas that have either had some discussion in the past or what might come up in the future. The reason for this is to give us an idea of what the potential might be. When we look at planned development here, we're looking at areas of Glendale Heights, Riverwood, South Oaks, South Pines, and the rest of Wallen. These are areas that have been granted preliminary approvals, would need to come back for planning commission and council approvals in the future, but give us some indication of what could easily be available coming up. With that, about 134 units of single family and 185 of multifamily within that. And then we have more of the potential development, which is more of frankly, a guess from staff standpoint. Looking at areas that are vacant that could be developed in the future. From there, we may have, close to over 1,200 single-family lots within the periphery that we have guided for development that could be developed at some point, and another 700 units of multifamily development. So that is what I have for a summary of where we're at with development this year, or last year, I should say. When we take a look at 2019 coming up here, as I mentioned before, I think one of the challenges we're gonna have here is to look at the comprehensive plan and review some of the ordinances, making sure that they're consistent with it. We may want to look at some of our land use ordinances relating to development to make sure they best meet the market demand and some of the products that people are bringing forward on that. And so those are some of the items I see coming forward this year. Other large projects, I hope to have some more plats and subdivisions that'll be coming forward based upon some of the preliminary conversations we've had. It seems the market is there. It's just a matter of bringing the right product forward. So I can stand for any questions.
Commissioners, any questions, comments for John?
John,
I'm sorry. Commissioner Brown?
has the building permit issued for Confluence Development?
It has.
Okay,
Well, actually, the permit is in. It's under review right now.
okay. Is there an anticipated date they expect construction to begin?
Sure. The construction anticipated probably March 1st at this point.
Okay, and still a substantial date of December?
Correct.
Thanks.
Commissioner Johnson? Any questions? Any question?
Beat you to it.
Commissioners, any other questions? If not, I think I can entertain a motion for adjournment. Unless you have other business, John?
Nope, I was gonna give an update on the Great Rivers Landing project, but you beat me to it on there, that's good. Looking at our schedule here, our next meeting would be scheduled for February 10th. And so I don't have anything on the agenda for this, at this point for that meeting, but I'll keep you posted as to what's going on.
Thank you very much.